Small American towns are so desperate for people that they are paying retirees to move there. Cash, free land, and $50,000 in down payment assistance. No job required, no age limit, because these towns are dying. Young people leave for the cities and never come back. Schools close and shops shut their doors for the last time. A town either finds new residents or it ceases to exist. We are counting down 7 of these towns and programs, starting with a $10,000 check and ending with the most generous relocation offer in the United States right now. Number 7. Newton, Iowa. Newton sits about 30 miles east of the state capital, Des Moines, right on Interstate 80. A town of just under 16,000 people in the heart of the American Midwest. Flat, golden farmland stretches in every direction. Wide, quiet streets lined with mature oak trees. The kind of place where neighbors still bring you a casserole when you move in. For most of the 20th century, Newton was famous for one thing: Maytag washing machines. The company was founded here and grew into a global brand. At its peak, Maytag employed 4,000 workers in Newton. In a town of 16,000, that meant roughly 1 in every 4 people depended on that single factory for their livelihood. The paychecks were good, the houses were affordable, life was stable. Then the factory closed. Overnight, Newton lost its entire economic engine. Unemployment skyrocketed to almost 10%. By 2010, Jasper County had the highest unemployment rate of all 99 counties in Iowa. The American news program 60 Minutes declared Newton one of the most broken towns in America. Rows of homes sat empty. By 2011, not a single new house was being built anywhere in the city. The housing market had completely flatlined. So Newton did something clever. The city launched a housing initiative in 2014. The offer is straightforward. Build or buy a new construction home valued at $240,000 or more, and Newton writes you a $10,000 check at closing. No employment requirement, no age restriction. The home must be your primary residence. That is the only condition. You can spend that $10,000 on whatever you like. Furniture, moving costs, a flight back to visit the grandchildren. The program also comes with a welcome package called Get to Know Newton, featuring discounts at local restaurants and shops valued at over $2,500. And it has worked. About 54% of the homes sold under this program went to people moving into Newton from somewhere else. The town now has a motorsport speedway, a revitalizing downtown, and new housing developments where there were once nothing but overgrown empty lots. For context, a new build home in Newton costs roughly what you might pay for a modest 1-bedroom flat in parts of southern England. Except here, they hand you $10,000 on top of it. $10,000 and a welcome package is generous. But what if a town offered you the land itself, completely free, no charge whatsoever, and then handed you cash on top of it? Number 6. Curtis, Nebraska. Curtis sits in the Medicine Creek Valley in the center of Nebraska, population 800. A small cluster of buildings surrounded by rolling grassland that seems to go on forever. There is a college of technical agriculture here, a 9-hole golf course with views across the valley, a single-screen movie theater, and an annual Easter pageant that draws visitors from across America. In 1862, Abraham Lincoln signed the Homestead Act, giving away 270 million acres of public land to anyone willing to settle the frontier. Curtis is running what its administrators describe as a modern version of that same idea. The town gives away free plots of land on paved roads with utilities already connected to the curb. Free. You pay nothing for the lot. You build your home on it. And if you enroll children in the local schools, the town hands you between $750 and $1,750 in additional cash. Nearly all of the lots in the program have been claimed. 12 new houses now stand where there was once just open ground. In a town of 800 people, 12 new families changed the character of the entire community. Several of those houses sit on a bluff overlooking the golf course and a quiet pond. All were built on land the town gave away for nothing. The program administrator put it plainly: the cost of living out here is so low that a modest income stretches extraordinarily far. A retiree living on a pension would find their money goes 2 or 3 times further than it ever could in Britain. One small Nebraska town giving away free land is remarkable enough. But Curtis is not alone. An entire American state has turned free land giveaways into something of a tradition. Number 5. The Kansas Free Land Belt. Kansas, the Sunflower State. Flat, vast, and losing people faster than almost anywhere else in America. Miles upon miles of wheat fields, broken only by grain elevators and water towers. In 2019, 6 rural Kansas towns started offering free land to newcomers: Marquette, Mankato, Plainville, Osborne, Wilson, and Lincoln. The idea was radical and simple. If you cannot bring jobs to the people, bring people to the land. Mankato is the standout today, a city of just over 900 people in Jewell County, north-central Kansas. There are currently 26 lots available in the Johnson Addition, a horseshoe-shaped drive on the east side of the community, lined with young trees and freshly laid pavement. The lots sit close to a high school, a hospital, a steakhouse, and half a mile from the main shopping area. All utilities are in place. You must build a home of at least 1,200 square feet and begin construction within 6 months. Marquette started giving away lots back in 2003 on 50 acres of former farmland. 21 of those lots were claimed within the first year alone. Between 2000 and 2020, Marquette grew by 11%. In rural Kansas, that kind of growth is almost unheard of. It is proof that free land, done right, can genuinely reverse a town's decline. But honesty matters here. Not every town succeeded. Lincoln, Kansas once offered free lots ranging from 14,000 to 35,000 square feet. That program is now closed. The remaining parcels have been sold to a developer. Lincoln's population shrank 10% despite the free land offer. And Lincoln was not alone. Coffeyville and Eureka lost 20% of their residents. Peabody lost nearly a third. Free land is not magic. It works in some places and fails quietly in others. The towns where it succeeds tend to have something else going for them: a school, a hospital, a reason to stay beyond the price of the dirt. Free land in Kansas is extraordinary. You get the plot, you build your home, and the land costs nothing. But the next town on our list goes even further. Number 4. Elwood, Nebraska. Elwood is located 2.5 hours west of Lincoln, out where the flat Nebraska plains begin to ripple slightly before the long climb toward the Rockies. Population roughly 800. The lots sit in a subdivision known as Wheatfield Addition, right next to the public swimming pool and the local school. Quiet streets. A flat horizon in every direction. The sound of wind moving through tall grass. The offer has 2 parts. Part 1. Elwood provides free land plots to anyone looking to build a residential home. Each lot measures 110 feet by 115 feet. That is roughly a quarter acre, free of charge. You put down a $500 refundable deposit, which comes back to you the moment you finish building. Part 2. After completing the home, the Village of Elwood reimburses 10% of your construction cost, up to $25,000. Build a $250,000 home, and Elwood writes you a check for $25,000 once you move in. You must begin construction within 1 year and occupy the home within 2 years. The program is open to out-of-state newcomers. There is no employment requirement mentioned in the terms. The nearby Johnson Lake Reservoir offers fishing, boating, and golden summer evenings on the water. The town has a grocery shop, local services, and the kind of unhurried pace that suits someone who has already spent 40 years watching the clock. Free land and $25,000 back on your build. Most people in Britain would not believe that offer exists until they see it in writing. But the next entry on our list is not about land or housing at all. It is about something even more valuable: 5 years without paying a penny in state income tax. Number 3, the Kansas Rural Opportunity Zones. This is not one town. This is 95 counties spread across the state of Kansas, almost the entire state. The program is called the Rural Opportunity Zone Initiative, and it does something remarkable. Move to one of these 95 designated counties from out of state, and Kansas waives 100% of your state income tax for up to 5 years. To qualify, you must have lived outside Kansas for at least 5 years before establishing your new home there. And here is where it becomes truly interesting. Many of these 95 counties overlap with the free land towns we just discussed. Mankato, Plainville, Marquette, they all sit within rural opportunity zones. That means you could receive free land in Mankato and pay no Kansas state income tax for 5 years. The incentives stack on top of each other. Free land, no state income tax. A new home for a fraction of what it would cost anywhere in Britain. There is an important deadline to know about. The domicile establishment window for the tax credit ran through January 1st, 2026. If you establish residency before that date, you can continue claiming the credit through your 2026 tax return, which gets filed in 2027. The program is winding down, but for those who acted in time, the savings are substantial and ongoing. For anyone from Britain, consider this. Kansas has no equivalent of council tax at the same scale. Property taxes exist, but remain modest in rural counties. Combined with 0 state income tax for 5 years, the total tax burden for a retiree in rural Kansas is remarkably low by any measure. 5 years without state income tax is a powerful incentive. But the next entry on our list is not a tax break. It is a check. One that arrives every single year for the rest of your life, simply for living there. Number 2, Alaska. Alaska does not offer free land. It does not offer a housing grant. Alaska does something no other state in America does. It pays every single resident an annual dividend just for being there. No age requirement, no work requirement. You simply have to live in Alaska. The program is called the Permanent Fund Dividend. It was established in 1976 using revenues from Alaska's vast oil and gas reserves. A portion of those revenues is legally required to be deposited into a sovereign wealth fund. Over 5 decades, that fund has grown to over $86 billion. It is one of the largest pools of public wealth on the planet. Alaskans have received annual dividend checks since 1982. In 2022, the dividend hit a record of $3,284 per person. A family of 4 received over $13,000 that year in a single lump sum, just for living in Alaska. The 2025 dividend was $1,000. More than 600,000 eligible Alaskans collected it. The eligibility rules are strict. This is deliberate. Alaska does not want people arriving in October, collecting a check, and flying home in November. You must have been a resident for the entire preceding calendar year. You must intend to remain indefinitely. You cannot be absent for more than 180 days. But here is what makes Alaska truly remarkable for a retiree. It is the only American state with no state income tax and no state sales tax. Combine the annual dividend with 0 income tax, 0 sales tax, and the most dramatic landscape in North America, and you begin to understand why some retirees choose this place despite the climate. Long, dark winters where temperatures can plunge to -40. But summers where the sun barely sets and the mountains glow golden until midnight. Glaciers calving into turquoise water. Eagles overhead. Silence so deep it rings in your ears. The 2026 dividend has not been finalized. The Alaska House passed a spending plan that would set the payment at roughly $3,800 per person. Whether that figure survives the full legislature remains to be seen. Either way, every eligible Alaskan will receive something. They have every single year, since 1982, and they will again, $1,000 a year, potentially much more, simply for existing in the right place. That is extraordinary. But everything we have covered so far, the $10,000 checks, the free land, the tax waivers, even Alaska's annual dividend, all of it is modest compared to what our number one entry is offering. Number 1, Pawnee City, Nebraska. 865 residents, according to recent census data. It sits in the southeast corner of the state, 90 minutes from Lincoln, 90 minutes from Omaha, and 140 miles from Kansas City. Main Street is quiet. One grocery shop with a bell above the door, one hardware store, a hospital with 24-hour emergency care, 2 parks with mature trees and wooden benches, a 9-hole sand green golf course, and a brand new amphitheater that the community built together. 50 years ago, Pawnee City had nearly 1,300 people. Since then, the population has fallen every single decade without exception. Where there were once 3 grocery stores, there is now 1. Where there were 5 hardware stores, there is now 1. The slow, steady erosion of a small American town has played out over half a century in closed storefronts and empty houses. But Pawnee City decided to fight back. The initiative is called Vision 2030. It is a comprehensive plan involving the construction of 25 new single-family homes on city-owned lots. The program explicitly lists its target audience as families, professionals, and retirees seeking a peaceful yet vibrant community. They want you. The financial offer is the most generous on this entire list: $50,000 in down payment assistance. For qualifying buyers, this amount is structured as a 0% interest, no payment second mortgage. It is not a suitcase of cash you walk away with. It is applied directly to the home purchase, reducing what you owe from day one. No monthly payments on that $50,000, no interest accruing. It simply sits there, making your home affordable. The new homes are priced around $320,000 to $330,000. With the assistance, you are looking at an effective entry point of $270,000 to $280,000 for a brand new build in a quiet corner of America. To qualify, you must fall within certain income limits. For a single-person household, the cap is $69,450. For larger households, the ceiling rises to over $115,000. You do not need to be a first-time buyer. Funding came from the Nebraska Affordable Housing Trust Fund. That fund awarded Pawnee City a $650,000 grant. The city used that money to build and sell 2 initial homes. The proceeds now fund the $50,000 assistance packages for future buyers. It is a self-sustaining cycle, designed to keep working long after the original grant runs out. When the program was announced in March of 2025, it caught fire almost instantly. National news outlets picked up the story. Social media spread it across the country. More than 400 applications flooded in within weeks. 400 families, retirees, and young professionals all raised their hands for a chance at a new life in a town most of them had never heard of before. Steve Glenn, chairman of the Pawnee City Economic Development Council, said that people still want safety and security and family first. If the city can offer a great house at a great price and overcome the obstacle of not having money saved for a down payment, he believes that is a winning argument. The application is still open. The homes are being built right now, and Pawnee City is waiting.